Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Solving Standard. So for this week, we are going to be going Mardu. This is the deck we're going to be playing. It's Mardu Angels, essentially based around this card, Kaalia Zenith Seeker. So it's a pretty good card on the surface, right? 3 mana, 3/3 flying vigilance, but then you get this ETB effect where you get to reveal an angel, demon, and or dragon card. So potentially we can actually hit all 3 of those in our top 6, but it is skewed more towards the angel side of things. We've got Bishop of Wings, which is great with our angels. It allows us to gain life, get some tokens. Then we also have this control game plan. So you see a variety of removal here. If we're playing against a deck like, say, vampires, what have you, we really want some early interaction to be able to get to our late game cards. Resplendent Angel, just one of the best angels in the format. Clearly, we want 4 copies of this. Sorin is nice. It goes with our life gain plan, and it allows us to get more angels with our Resplendent Angel trigger, because if we've gained 5 or more life, then end of turn we start getting these 4/4 angel tokens, which can get pretty out of control. 1 Aurelia, 2 Shalai, and 2 Seraph of the Scales. So these aren't the best angels in the deck, but they're still important. It's sometimes one is going to be better than the other, so that's kind of why we see a mix of these. All great cards in their own right. We also have some dragons and demons for our Kaalia. 2 Skargan Hellkite, 1 Doom Whisperer, and 1 Demon Lord Belzenlock. So these 2 demons, these 2 dragons, and then Lyra to make the angels even better. We know about Lyra, right? Lyra's just a fantastic card, especially against those aggressive decks we might play against. Pretty straightforward mana base. We do have to prioritize having double white if possible, because Bishop of Wings, it's a 2-drop, but it's also double white. So you're not always going to have the double white turn 2, but optimally we will, right? Sideboard, Duress, classic card, pretty just great card in this format as a sideboard card, possibly the best sideboard card in the format. Argyl's Bloodfast, a little bit of card advantage against those control decks. Noxious Grasp, we're seeing a decent amount of this card as well in these black decks. Really versatile removal spell. It's going to come in a lot of matchups. Another Cry of the Carnarium. So this is probably the best card against vampires overall. And we don't have 2 toughness creatures in the deck, even though we are a creature deck. So we can board in a 3rd copy of this one. Blood Sun. This is a card that is for your Scapeshift matchup. It stops the land, so it basically just stops what they're doing altogether, and it cantrips. Now they can bounce it with cards like Teferi, but you're going to need a few different things to work in your favor to beat Scapeshift, and Blood Sun is definitely a part of that package. Mortify, versatile removal spell. There's still people playing enchantments, Search for Askanta, Nexus of Fate, Wilderness Reclamation, what have you. And then Ashiok, Dream Render. So this is another card for the Scapeshift matchup. It hits in a different way than the Blood Sun does, stopping our opponent from being able to search their library. So Scapeshift, one of the top decks. We really want to... We're fine with dedicating sideboard slots just for Scapeshift at this point. So Ashiok and Blood Sun, they're for Scapeshift. We're probably not boarding them in other matchups, but they are really important against Scapeshift. So this is the deck. It's a pretty fun deck. And let's battle with it. Alright, I'm going to keep this. We don't have much early here. It looks like we're playing against Vamps. Vampires. So we would really like some early removal in this matchup. Don't have any of that in this hand, so we'll see what they can do. Or see what we can draw. Now, if we were on the play, we'd already have an Angel out, which would be very different. Now, we can still win this game if they don't have, like, the nutty, you know, Sorin into champion type start, although this is pretty good. Alright, Legion's End, that would have been really helpful last turn. I don't think we have time to get the Lieutenant off the board. I'm just going to put this Resplendent Angel out there onto the battlefield. Not feeling great about our chances now. Yeah, Sanctum Seeker is going to make things more difficult, even than they already were. We get to block this Dust Legion Zealot. But it's just not enough. Just not enough. Sometimes Vampires does that. One of the top decks in the format. We get to board in this Cry of the Carnarium, certainly. We're going to be on the play. So that's also very important. I'm going to take out the Demon Lord Bells and Lock. We're going to take out D-Spark here. I think some of the other cards in our sideboard are okay in this matchup, like Noxious Grasp hits certain creatures. So I'll board in a copy of that, a copy of Noxious Grasp. I'm not going to go crazy. It's a very play draw, and then also if we draw Cry of the Carnarium, like if we had had a Cry on turn 3 there, or even the Legion's End on turn 2, would have been a different game. This is fine. And we have our signature card, Kaalia. So plenty of gas to work with. Not worried about that. We can just get rid of the Conquistador here. So I'm just going to cast that down. I think we want to save our Legion's End for a potential Adanto Vanguard. Or if we specifically see 2 creatures in play. But yeah, we're still going to kill the Conquistador. Bishop of Wings could be useful. We really want to draw another land at some point, but I'm just going to take this opportunity to play the Kaalia. Alright, now 4 lands and Cry, putting those on the bottom of our deck is not great. Those are all cards that we want in our hand right now. Like 4th land, very important. Cry, great card here. So Sorin is going to plus, and they're going to sack that Vampire. And now we have a decision about whether to play Bishop of Wings or simply to Legion's End. Get rid of the Knight. think it's a pretty close decision. I'm going to play the bishop. It does have 4 toughness, which means you're getting around Sorin a little bit.
This is but a taste of my power.
And we're kind of gambling on, you know, hitting this land at some point, which we did. That's good. Good news. We can attack Sorin. I think that's a fine attack here because eventually we do want to get it off the board.
I cannot be killed.
I'm gonna play the Seraph because if it dies, we're actually happy if this one dies, whereas the Shalai, not as much. We do, if an angel dies, we do get another spirit, so we can get some spirits. And now with 2 Adanto Vanguards in play, we can finally have a nice juicy target for Legion's End. Okay, so they're just attacking with the Vanguard. I'm going to take that hit. Plenty of options. I kind of want to just get the Vanguard off the board this turn. Although I could see arguments for playing Sorin, which could allow us to take down the Sorin, but the other Sorin by playing our Sorin, because we could plus it. But then, yeah, I think we just want a Vigilance here. And then attack the Sorin down to 2. Also, by getting rid of these Adanto Vanguards, we're stopping the Legion's Landing from flipping. I think our opponent might have something.
Watch your temper.
But whatever it is, they're not casting it. Could be something like a cast down. But this Legion's End, very good card for us. Okay, it's a Noxious Grasp. They're going after their own Adanto Vanguard. So that's gonna save one of their Adanto Vanguards, but it's also gonna make them use the Noxious Grasp, so that's a win overall. Okay, that was clearly a top deck D-Spark. Unfortunate. Probably the best card our opponent can draw there. We do have a block though. We can block Knight of the Ebon Legion if okay, so we're just taking 4. We're still, you know, hanging in there as far as our life total goes. Did draw Cry now. Not as good. We could get rid of Adanto Vanguard with it. But don't know that we want to do that. As far as Sorin, we could Sorin minus, get Kaalia back. Another potential option. But I think I'm just going to play this Seraph. We really want to gain some more life, certainly. And we'll see what our opponent finds. So they can pump the Knight and So this is a lot of damage. I mean, it's 5 plus 7. Would put us to 1 if we took it all. Could block with Seraph and then get those tokens. Tough decision, but the fact is we can take this hit. We want to take it because our opponent already plus the Sorin. So it's 7 plus 5. I think I'm just gonna say no blocks and go to 1 because we can gain some life back. Like we can play our own Sorin as one way to do that, for instance. I think I actually will play Sorin. Well, yeah, I think we play Sorin here. We can play Sorin, get back Kaalia. It's pretty good.
I have come for vengeance and blood. I require your body, not your soul.
Alright, unfortunate there. We just completely bricked. So we definitely want to be vigilancing the Seraph. And I'm wondering if we want to attack with the Bishop or not. Don't know that we can afford to. Like, we don't want to block with this Bishop of Wings. But, yeah, I'm not going to attack with it, because if our opponent top decks a removal spell, then we could just be dead.
You have only won a battle.
If we were to attack with it. Okay, that's a pretty good draw from our opponent. Champion of Dusk. So we're getting into the latter stages of the game, for sure. Definitely want to block the... yes, we want to block. Because we can play the Resplendent Angel next turn, and that's going to be really useful. Because we can actually, with the Sorin in play, we can actually start triggering the Resplendent Angel. And that's going to allow us to start getting these 4/4 Angel tokens. So we're going to get 3 spirits. That's going to give us some, some more creatures, an ability to chump block. So we definitely want to play this Resplendent Angel. And we're gaining a bunch of life this turn. The question is,
What a mess I've made.
How many of these spirits do we want to be attacking with? Because we probably are going to have to chump block with some of them as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and attack with 1. So we certainly gain more than 5 life this turn. So we get it. And then since we have another Resplendent Angel in hand, we have the potential to start gaining even more life. But our opponent's not going to make it. I mean, making even more angels is what I meant to say. So we'll see what attacks our opponent comes up with. They are going to be able to flip the Legion's Landing. And now we have some decisions to make. Now that these attacks are all coming, they are all going face. So I think I'm going to double block this Champion of Dusk, chump this Knight, and just take the Adanto hit. We're going to be gaining plenty more life on our turn, so just have it, like, taking 6 damage really is not the end of the world. Maybe it was more than 6. No, plus the Sanctum Seeker triggers. But anyways, we're gonna be gaining a lot more life on our turn. Play this other Resplendent Angel. And that's actually just going to cause our opponent to concede, because I mean we're just gonna go crazy at that point, right? We're making two 4/4s a turn. We had our Sorin down, so that's really, that game shows exactly what we're hoping to be doing with this deck. Now, unfortunately, we're gonna be on the draw again, which is a little bit unfortunate. Don't know that too much really is going to change, even with that knowledge. Our opponent did have Noxious Grasp. We saw that one. Demon Lord Belzenlock, certainly a powerful card, but it's a little bit slow. I'm just going to submit the same configuration. Hopefully we can survive past, turn 3 in like a manageable situation, but I think we're just going to keep. We have a Temple to give us a Scry. We can play our Bishop on turn 2. So this isn't immediately helping us. The Doom Whisperer, we may end up, we don't know how good our opponent's draw is, but we think we're going to need another play after the Bishop of Wings, like by turn 3. Although they just had an Aspirant, which is like fine for us. So we have a decision to make whether we cast down or play the Bishop. I'm going to play the Bishop because it does block both of these creatures as things stand. Sorin, unfortunately, can plus, though, or minus. So it's going to minus and just champion off. That's basically worst case scenario for us. So we're just going to be cast downing this champion, certainly. Not really oh, okay, that was... Sorry, that was just stupid, obviously. Just should not should not have allowed that Danto to be made. Probably would get made next turn, but that was a punt. On my part. Here, I mean, we're playing one of the angels. Nothing feels particularly great this turn. I'm going Shalai. I mean, if we get double Shalai out, that's pretty nice. Alright, so our opponent's just attacking with these two. The idea here is that they can plus the Sorin after combat and just get rid of the Shalai. But if we're taking this, it's also not great for us. I guess I'll take it. We're hoping to draw a card like Cry of the Carnarium there. I guess could play Sorin and just kill our opponent. Sorin will accept that they have the City's Blessing, so they could actually just block with their Sky Marcher Aspirant if we attack the Sorin, which we probably want to attack it. If we just have double Shalai, I don't think we can. I don't think it's enough, so I'm gonna try this line. Curious to see what our opponent does. Okay, so they're just gonna let that die.
This will always return. You belong to me now.
So we may just be dead this turn. Don't know what our opponent has, but if they have something like a Sanctum Seeker, like a Legion Lieutenant, the math really just kind of gets away from us.
I bestow a mighty curse.
So we can block here, but we're still taking... Still going to 1. And don't have many outs, if any outs. Yeah, we're just dead. Unfortunate. Well, game 2 was fun. The game we were on the play. The Vampires deck is, I mean, it's a very good deck. We saw a lot of the MPL players have been playing with it, claiming it's the best deck in the format, so it's gonna be, that matchup is swingy. Swingy, it can go both ways. Alright, well, we're already on 6. Think we just put a land on the bottom. If we don't draw our 4th land, it kind of sucks, but it's just the percentage play, I think, to do that. I'm going to play the Sacred Foundry in case we draw Bishop. I want to cast that for our turn 2. And it looks like we are against Dinos. Drew it, had it, etc. This is going to put us in a nice spot. But we'll see. Sometimes draws that feature, you know, a turn 2 Huntmaster can get pretty out of control, and we're seeing it. Marauding Raptor and Rotting Regisaur. So, wow. Ugh. Brutal. That's so gross. So frustrating. Like, I mean, once again, nut draws are getting us. Oh, I guess they... Yeah, I don't know what they did there. But anyways, alright. We are on to the next game, that's for sure. So, anyways, this matchup does get better after sideboard. We get 3 Noxious Grasps, 2 Mortifies. So that's going to be a lot more removal. I'm going to take out the Cry of the Carnariums. Those are not really for this matchup. I think we can take out some of our angel stuff. I'm going to go with Shalai. I think we want the bigger angels, the bigger creatures here that can kind of tangle with the dinos a bit better and more effectively. I'm going to shave a Sorin because just pretty hard to protect Sorin in this matchup. Alright, well, no black mana in the opener. We do have a temple. Gives us a scry to it. Then if we find it, you know, the hand suddenly becomes pretty decent because we have Kaalia. Yeah. I'm going to try this one, and based on this land being a temple, like if this was a Sacred Foundry, another Sacred Foundry, I would actually mulligan this one. But the temple gives us basically another look towards it, right? We get our draw step, the scry, etc. So that's one card. We would like it next turn, but if we don't get it next turn, at least the following turn. Okay, so it's 2 bricks on it. Come on, deck. Don't do this. Not like this. Close hand. I mean, sometimes you aren't going to get there with it, but feels like we're due somehow. Feels like we should be due, but that's just exactly the one we didn't want to find. Like if we have the black, I mean, if we have the black land, the hand is really, really nice. We can kill this. once again, impressive draw from the opponent. Did finally get that land. No really great options. I'm just going to play the Seraph of the Scales. Yeah, that's probably game, because our opponent can now haste the Ghalta, and that's just lethal. I assume they're going to do that. It's pretty straightforward. They may have like a Savage Stomp or something. Well, I don't really understand playing that there because they just had lethal on board. Now we could actually survive and go block and not be dead, but we can't win from here, so I'm just gonna concede. Alright, let's bounce back here. This may be the hand to do it with. We'll see. Our opponent's on the mulligans. Alright, so that's the reason why I played the Sacred Foundry. We knew that drawing Bishop of Wings was a possibility there.
Sorry I'm late. Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
So we have a decision. We can either play the Bishop again or play this Resplendent Angel. I think I'm going to go with the Angel because even though there's a decent chance it's going to die here, it can kill the Teferi immediately if it does not, if it survives. So our opponent's shocked there with the Godless Shrine. We're going to attack this Teferi and make our opponent take an action or let their Teferi die. I mean, Soren's an okay play here. So is Shalai. Like, Soren just pluses and kind of keeps them off the Teferi for a little bit. Shalai is good, but vulnerable to removal. I guess I'm going to go with Shalai. Because we can also haste in the Skargan Hellkite. Oh. That's unexpected. Okay, so they're actually just gonna Blood for Bones away that Stitcher's supplier and get this Kefnet. Okay, yeah, that and then the Cavalier goes to the hand. So that's pretty insane, actually. They get two really powerful cards with this Blood for Bones. Oh, man. Was not expecting that. So, So the Cavalier can be used as a removal spell. Probably would take out our Shalai. Kind of want to just Bishop in Resplendent Angel here. All of a sudden, this 4/5 Kefnet stops a lot of our plans from really looking particularly good. So, yeah, just gonna have to play this one conservatively now. I'm interested to see what our opponent's gonna do on their turn, because we do have a pretty decent board ourselves, right? Like, our opponent can Cavalier and kill the Shalai, but it would mean sacrificing the Kefnet. And then they could also cash in the Teferi to make a bounce play. But we don't know what those other two cards are. So this is Esper control with a pretty significant twist, let's just say. But I mean, this has been probably one. I mean, this has been one of our best draws that we've had so far. So we're still in it. Okay, they can also go this way. They can bounce Shalai and then Cavalier one of these. They're just going to sacrifice the Kefnet, most likely, depending on what they have in hand. Now, Soren's another good option for us, because we can start getting... We can actually get this back from the graveyard. So, yep. Kefnet is going to get sacrificed. So this actually works out quite nicely for us, and this is one of the really nice interactions with a Soren. Is we can play Soren and get back the Resplendent Angel, which then gains us 4. The attack gains us 5. And now, all of a sudden, we have this extra angel on the battlefield.
I know my responsibility.
So Teferi is going to bounce the token.
I'll protect you.
And then there's going to be an attack. So the question becomes, how much do we value our Sorin? How much do we value our Splendid Angel? How much do we value our Bishop of Wings? I think we value... certainly value the Resplendent Angel the highest of those three. So the question is, do we block with Bishop or not? Bishop is still quite good here. And we can give some of our creatures lifelink with this Lyra if we would like to. So I guess I'm just gonna let the Sorin die.
May death find you quickly.
Low confidence that that play is correct, per se. But I'm just gonna jam the Lyra. I don't think our opponent has anything here. So we're just gonna kill Teferi, get another Angel. Our opponent draws this Kefnet, but unless they have something besides what we already know about, like maybe they have a Kaya's Wrath or something. Okay. Enter the God Eternals. It's not bad. But we have a really nice board, and our creatures also have flying. So arguments can be made for any of these plays. I think I'm going to go with a... Yeah, I'm going to go with Aurelia. Wow. That's pretty annoying. We also cannot cast down that Lyra. Can cast this Cavalier down. So, let's see. This definitely changes things. I mean, I think we just kill this. It does allow our opponent to... No. I guess they can get back a Stitcher Supplier. Unfortunately, there's not a great way to get past the Lyra at the moment. We can play Skargan Hellkite. I'm wishing last turn I had played Shalai, because then our opponent would have had to Agent of Treachery the Shalai. So Tombbound Lich. Our opponent's gonna loot there. So we're starting to get a pretty nice flying force. But they do have that Kefnet that they just played. So I'm going to play this Kaalia that we just drew. Okay, Seraph. So... I think we just play the Shalai now to at least make them have to target the Shalai with potential removal. Not going to be attacking. So we want to block this. The question is with what? I think it's just this angel because we can get the bishop trigger off of it, get another spirit off the exchange. Alright, so they found another Blood for Bones. So they get back this Agent of Treachery. And something else. So they're gonna Agent of Treachery the Shalai. It's funny that we drew Bedevil for turn. This game has been pretty insane. So we could Bedevil the Shalai. But unfortunately the Cavalier kills our Hellkites. Don't know how much we can do about that. I mean, we have to use this on Shalai, so I'm just going to do it now. mean, I don't see much of a way to get around this. Like, we could attack with everything. Lyra would block this, then our opponent goes up to 14. Doesn't seem great. Oh, yikes, yikes, yikes. Tyrant Scorn. Seems good. They sack the Stitcher's Supplier. So we're going to need to top deck something. If we top deck a removal spell there, that might have been enough. And this Tyrant Scorn can actually bounce these creatures of our opponents. Now here's a Hostage Taker. So gross. We're at 63. We're at 63 life too, but now I think we're gonna lose. Like, we kind of want to kill this, but then the trigger happens, I guess, and they get back like Tombbound Lich or whatever. We don't really care about this guy. So we're going to lose one of our flyers. I guess I could have just blocked with a Seraph and given it Death Touch as well. Same thing happens. Okay. So it's interesting they're actually pretty close to triggering this. Potentially. Like, if they play the Aurelia and then Agent or Hostage Taker, another of our things, then they would be triggering this EOT effect of the Agent. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede this. don't think we can win from here. I'm not sure if I messed up earlier or what. It felt like a game that, well, both players had good draws for sure, but felt like a game we should have won somehow. Haven't played against this deck before, honestly, so I'm not confident on what the sideboard plan should be. Like, Legion's End and Cry of the Carnarium seem good against Stitcher's Supplier, but not really good against most of the cards in our opponent's deck. Argyl's Bloodfast could be interesting. I think I'll bring that in. Mortify as just another removal. Duress can disrupt them somewhat. I think we want Duresses. Maybe 3 Duress. Still want most of our creatures, or all of our creatures. Ashiok could be interesting to like mill our opponent somehow. I'm gonna try this. Easy keep. Kaalia on turn 3, Sorin on turn 4. That's fine. I guess we could have won that last game if I had... There was one turn where I played Aurelia, I think, instead of Shalai. Maybe if I play Shalai, like our own Lyra was really what won our opponent the game. So this is a second copy of Kaalia. I think I will keep that because our opponent might have an answer to the first copy, and it's just kind of one of the signature cards in the deck. Also, our opponent may take it with Thought Erasure. We'll see. They did, so that makes it even better that we have the one in our hand, ready to go. Get a Doom Whisperer. Also, letting our Sorin die last game maybe could have somehow protected it. So there's some decisions I made that I'm kind of regretting at this particular moment. But hey, it's a new game, right? Search for Azcanta. Did not see that at all in the previous game. We had, definitely possible that we would have wanted a card like Mortify to bring in. So I could minus the Sorin. I'm not going to, because we saw just a little bit of Planeswalker removal, like Vraska's Contempt, I think, but... Did we see Contempt? No, now I'm not even... Okay, well, they have a Contempt, but minusing on a creature that's legendary would feel a little bit weird to me. Not that it would necessarily have been wrong. Ugh, yikes. Splendid Angel seems like a pretty decent draw. I think we can activate Doom Whisperer to still set up our next draw after the Angel. I guess if we're Demon Lording next turn anyways... Yeah, we're probably just Demon Lording anyways, so we can draw the Angel, play the Demon Lord. Drew Duress, which was not really the card we wanted to find, but could be useful. We don't know what's in our opponent's hand. But our opponent's deck is playing out much more like an Esper control deck this game. So I'm curious how they sideboarded. So they have a Blood for Bones. Or we can take Disdainful Stroke. The Iskanta is gonna transform. Don't know that we care that much about the cards in the graveyard at the moment. Just Tombbound Liches. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the Stroke. I guess if they draw, if our opponent draws Stitcher Supplier and like mills the right cards with it, that could be very bad for us. But we just want to, we're kind of all in on this Resplendent Angel plan. Gonna go ahead and activate, and then we get another Angel. Hopefully our opponent does not hit off this Kefnet. We do have the D-Spark. Did not want to D-Spark that turn because then we can't gain enough life to use our Angel. So Thought Erasure, pretty annoying. Also allows our opponent to set up their top card. Well, we can just cast this down, but then we cannot activate Resplendent Angel if we do that. I think I'm just gonna. It's close. I mean, both options seem pretty good. I guess I am gonna cast it down. Oh no, wait. Sorry, that's stupid. It's legendary. Stupid me. Alright. Well, in that case, definitely, just attacking with the Angel. I mean, we're in a pretty good spot unless they peel something. This probably bounces one of the tokens.
I've got time.
Okay, so we did get there. I think we definitely want these Mortifies. They actually seem better than the cast downs. Yeah, the cast down on Kefnet, that's a no-no. Probably do want this Duress, because our opponents boarded into basically more of an Esper control deck. We didn't see Stitcher's Supplier at all. At all that game. So yeah, these are the 61 cards I like, but do have to take out one more card. All right. So if they have Teferi, they're going to play Teferi here and bounce this. No Teferi. Should maybe play this to have Bedevil available to us. Could play out the Seraph, but I think we just want to get some more value off the Bloodfast, because our hand is not very good at the moment. And we also saw cards like Disdainful Stroke last game. So yeah, I'm going to despark the God, so we don't have to deal with it for a little bit. Get the Seraph out there. Unfortunately, we've drawn just an obscene amount of lands. So we're not going to have trouble hitting our land drops this game. Okay. So we can go for Bedevil on that. I guess I could activate the Bloodfast first to see if we find a Duress. Because we don't know if our opponent has a card like Negate in hand. Since I didn't find it, I'm just going to go for it. Okay. Just so many cards here that aren't getting it done. Wow, yep. Oh, unfortunate. Unfortunate there. Game 3, not a really close game. The other games felt much more competitive. Alright, Kaalia. Kaalia is a nice draw. We just need to... If we hit lands, like, we just have all of our big hitters. Looks like we're against the zombies. I mean, the vampires, rather. Gat 1 have all of the heavy hitters in hand. If we do miss a land drop, we can just play Resplendent Angel. Not the worst. So this probably pluses. Nope. They're gonna go for champion. Interesting. So now we can kill off the Sorin. And we did draw a land. Seraph is pretty nice in this matchup. It's just hard to deal with. Makes it tough for our opponent to attack profitably. Okay, so they're fine with trading champion for Seraph, and I think we are as well. We can actually just get somewhat aggressive. Just have these Seraphs as really nice blockers. And our opponent's just dead, almost. Like, we can play Aurelia and think that's just lethal, so I'm not going to block. All right, we got one against the Vamps. Feels good. They did not have the best draw. We're to board in this Cry of the Carnarium. It's not a matchup where we are doing that much. D-Spark, the easiest card to take out of the deck. Noxious Grasp, it's okay against, you know, some of the white vampires like the Lieutenant and the Sky Marcher. But we're gonna submit this and you're just kind of hoping to survive until the late game and draw your key early interaction spells. Okay, so we have a piece of interaction, and then we'll start playing our big fatties at some point. Once again, no 1-drop for our opponent, which is pretty nice. So that's just an easy Legion's End target. They could have another one in hand, we don't know. Okay, so Sorin, double Sorin, Noxious Grasp. Oh, they just drew in a Danto Vanguard off the top. That's unfortunate. So we can play we can play the Chapel if we want to be Bedeviling. I don't know that we want to be Bedeviling. I'm just gonna play a tap land. The 2 life could be relevant, and if our opponent plays a Sorin, they have a second one, so like getting rid of the Sorin in that situation specifically doesn't feel that great. So if we play a Seraph, they can grasp it. I think that's okay for us. Like they have to make not a great attack in order to. Well, all right. So here's what our opponent actually should do here. They should attack, let us block, probably. And then grasp, but they did draw the land, so they can play Sorin. So yeah, not sure what our opponent's going to do. They are going to attack. And we're going to block the 1/1 vampire. See what our opponent does. So they're just gonna go with nothing, and that's interesting.
I have arrived to contain you, uncultured monsters. My bloodline flows through you.
Doom Whisper is pretty nice because can't be hit by Noxious Grasp. We could also play the Hellkite, get rid of the Sorin. Or we could just ignore Sorin because our opponent has 2 Sorins. But don't know that we're getting anywhere by doing that. So kind of a tough decision. Another reasonable play is to just play a second Seraph. Or just kill off this knight, which is... The knight is pretty annoying. Yeah, there's a lot of options. I'm gonna go with just an attack. And then hold up the Bedevil. So they're going with the plus on the knight, which I think we're happy about. I'm not sure our opponent realizes that we have the option to give our Seraph Death Touch here, which would mean that these would trade, but we kind of just want to use the Bedevil for mana efficiency. Just gonna go with the biggest creature we have access to, and that's the Doom Whisperer. It's either that or the Skargan Hellkite for sure. This turn. So Sorin can plus and basically force through another 5 damage. Because we don't want to block because this has Death Touch. Don't think we're in the market for Cry anymore. There was definitely a time when we would have been. But not right now. I'm just going to slam the Skargan Hellkite and give this Vigilance. Make an attack with both creatures. So this is going to kill off the Sorin. And we're going to start to make a dent on our opponent's life total.
This is not my final demise.
So this is a spot where we have to block, no choice. And the Seraph is the one that we're most willing to let go of. Wow, Sorin was actually possibly our best draw here. We can play Sorin and Resplendent Angel, which is just perfect.
Strife makes monsters of us all.
Probably should hold back 1 token for blocks. Our opponent can get rid of the Sorin with Noxious Grasp. So I should probably just minus it.
Embrace the bloodlust.
And we get this other 4/4. Yep. So, GG's. We got the vampires that time. Alright, last match. See what we can do. Easy mulligan. Into an easy keep. Probably putting one of the Sorins back. We can go bishop into Kaalia. First Llanowar Elf deck we played against. And so I am just going to play the Kaalia. It does suck that our opponent has a pretty good draw here. I think we just hold up Bedevil. Like, if they play Nissa, we need to be able to get rid of it. I guess I'll just Bedevil the Risen Reef. Feels bad, but it stops one of the triggers. This does have reach though, which is pretty unfortunate.
This one out. Don't worry, I got this.
Just gonna replay this. I don't feel particularly good about this game, but we don't have many good options. Could be a Crisis very easily this turn. Just feels like that's the way things are going. Yep. Just gonna take out those 2 mana dorks and the Crisis, I think.
We will not fail. The land fights for us.
So our opponent just had a really good draw. And we mulliganed. We're going to board in these Noxious Grasps for sure. I think Mortify against what we saw. Things like Prison Realm. We want the Mortify for... This is a matchup where Bishop of Wings is actually just not that good. There's not a lot of trading, and the life gain is not quite as important. We saw it just kind of sit in play and not do a whole lot that last game. Cry is okay. Like, we have a lot of okay removal, basically. Cry does kill the Risen Reefs. Doesn't kill Leafkin Druid, which is another card our opponent likely has in their deck. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 1 Cry. Keep most of the creature base intact. Yeah. We'll keep this. We get to scry. Hopefully find lands. Not a land, so we'll get rid of that. Alright, so our opponent doesn't have the same sort of explosive draw this game, but they could still have something like a Risen Reef. Teferi's pretty good too.
Let's slow this down. I've got it. I'm known for my excellent timing. No, I am not making this up as I go.
We can Legion's End plus Resplendent Angel. I think that's okay. Okay, double Deputy and Cavalier of Thorns.
This might be a bad idea.
So if they play both deputies, we could just use double removal on them. Instead, they're going for this Cavalier, which we can also use a removal spell on. The unfortunate part about using a removal spell on the Cavalier is that they do get that trigger to bring something back. So like the Krasis comes back. Ugh. Well, I mean, we certainly don't really want them to be Krasising next turn, but we don't have a lot of good options. I'm just gonna pass.
Trust me, I have a plan.
We can cast this Noxious Grasp on the Deputy. So I think that's the plan now. I'm going to do it end of turn, though. I mean, I'm gonna activate it, I think. They can deputy away the token. Or fairy bounce the token.
You'll thank me later. That's more like it.
Well, we're already at 13. I guess I'll bedevil this. But now they got that Crisis back.
Only time will tell.
No real good options here. We're just hoping that this is gonna work out, but it's not going to.
I've got it.
Alright, well, thanks everyone for watching. I wish I could have done a little bit better. You're not always gonna go win every match, but I think I made some small misplays that might have maybe made things a little bit better. I do think the deck is a sweet deck. So yeah, definitely. I mean, there could still be work on it, but I've liked the list and the sideboard. So yeah, check it out. Thanks for watching.